Tonight on Podcast Them Down, we are reviewing HAMMERFALL's new album, Avenge the Fallen.
Cast them down.
Hail Metal Nation, it is I, Tim. Where's my Tim thing?
We got a great banner that says Timmy loves Judas Priest.
All right. That is with the wielding the hammer is Snack O'Tack, our Irish correspondent, and of course, as always, is Doug. All right.
Top of the morning.
Emphasize, I am listening to the album at full volume, and you can't hear it because apparently nothing matters anymore.
Welcome audio routing, Doug.
Welcome to Podcast Down, where we showcase the gate on Doug's microphone.
Are you playing it in speakers or just in your ears?
In speakers.
That's amazing. That's why you're so perplexed.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
My favorite part
I
of the
can
episode.
hear it, and I'm wearing in-ear headphones separately.
It seems like my future favorite part of these reviews is where Doug's neighbors kick the door in and just say, "Turn off the fucking music."
Doug has no neighbors. He's in our desert studio.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is in our. That's why he can play music so loudly, because he's in our desert headquarters.
Beautiful Trona, California.
I like also in our beautiful desert studios all the pictures of our classic 1950s Podcast Them Down moments when we were an old time radio show. I believe we were on the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Yeah. And what? We were called The Podcast Them Down.
Yeah, we were called the Podcast Them Down back then.
All right. Well, let's see. HAMMERFALL did that tour with Halloween that I believe we reviewed, and then went home to Sweden, and as they often do, Oscar and Joachim, which is how I've heard him pronounce his name. I would have thought the J would have been soft, but whatever. Go and lock themselves in the studio and put out yet another album, Avenge the Fallen. All right.
The last HAMMERFALL I remember is that music video where they debuted the HAMMERFALL Kids.
Yes.
And I don't want to.
That was Hammer of Dawn, or at least the album.
I don't want to ruin this for anybody, but I didn't hear any HAMMERFALL Kids on this album.
Well, there is a music video.
Oh,
We're all over the place already, but let's just continue to be all over the place. They did release a music video, I believe, for the title track, Avenge the Fallen, and it's them in a very small club with lots of fans packed in there and exactly 2 ladies up front.
Ooh.
And they're just playing the song, and that's the video. It seems like the label was like, "Hey, you got that music video done?" They go, "Oh, yeah,
We sure do."
yeah." Book the bar down the street. We gotta get this done. So, I got it's been so long since we've reviewed a CD. I forgot the protocol. We we need to pull up the spreadsheet and fill it out because that's what our listeners expect.
Yep.
Is good bookkeeping. All right, so HAMMERFALL album is Avenge the Fallen, year 2024. I have the CD version right here. All right, genre. Is HAMMERFALL even power metal anymore? I would make the argument that this album might be more power metal than most of their other releases in a while.
Okay.
But I don't know if I want to go so far as to say they are power metal.
What other genres would you admit?
They went just very straightforward mid-tempo metal for a while, just heavy metal, just
With all the World of Warcraft synths and things, I think this may count as power metal again.
Okay, how about we do power metal with a question mark at the
Yeah, or can you put power in inverted commas, as the British say? Can it be power metal?
yes. And I'll do single quotes.
Okay, yeah. The British people will appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so the track list of this album is Avenge the Fallen, The End Justifies, Freedom, Hail to the King, Hero to All, Hope Springs Eternal, Burn It Down, Capture the Dream, Rise of Evil, which is not a Sabaton cover,
Oh,
and Time Immemorial.
okay.
Oh, whoops. I was listening to the 2022 album.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Damn it.
that's Hammer of Dawn.
How'd they put out 2 albums in 2 years?
I know.
Well, I think I can address this.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
okay.
gonna go ahead and give my review up front.
Oh,
This is vanilla Hammerfall. Now, vanilla ice cream, as we know, is simultaneously the most boring flavor, and when done right, is the best. Is one of the best flavors, if not the best. Hammerfall have managed to make an incredibly generic album that's really good. They hit all the tropes that they need to. They sing about their fans. They have gang choruses that you'd expect from Hammerfall, which, and according to the liner notes, a guy named John Bush is one of the gang vocal people in Los Angeles. Is that the John Bush from Armored Saint? I don't know. Probably. How many John Bushes are there in Los Angeles?
isn't John Prescott Bush one of George W. Bush's brothers? Prescott Bush.
Also, this lineup is the same as the last time. I didn't think we needed to belabor going through the lineup, but the extra people are interesting. Thomas Vikstrom is listed on here. Now, there was a guy named Thomas Vikstrom who was the singer in Candlemass, I believe, as well as he was in Therion for the Good album.
Okay.
So, is that him? I don't know. Maybe. Could be like John Smith. Who knows? Also interesting, I am jumping ahead to the presentation. In the CD liner notes, they have a quote related to every song in the beginning. Starting with Avenge the Fallen, quote, "I'm the last of my legion, and I won't go down without a fight."
Okay.
So that's who he's avenging. He's avenging the fallen members of his legion. The end justifies is, quote, "The end will justify our means." As if the meaning was lost on you. And so they've done that for every song. Some of them are lyrics, some of them are not. They're just like phrases
Just like
related to the song. Yeah.
stray thoughts.
Yeah. The booklet, standard, like 12-page booklet, and they've done what they all do. Every few pages, every page is a picture and the lyrics until they run out of band members.
Oh, no.
And they cram all the lyrics in a couple of pages. They've done it again, but they did put Hector in the back, and he's holding a Swedish banner because they are Swedish.
Okay. Hey, now wait, did they release this album, Doug, to commemorate their accession into NATO?
I think so. I think it's a reasonable read.
Okay.
The Rise of Evil.
Yeah,
Capture the Dream.
our ends justify our means. Okay. I like this. Shockingly political from Hammerfall.
All right, quick review of each song. Avenge the Fallen, good song, but it starts with a stupid synth that I hate.
Oh, I really like the synth. I was like,
I was like, oh no, and then not as upset. All right, the end justifies is probably, the first time I was like, oh, this reminds me of old Hammerfall, but not so probably like Hearts on Fire era.
okay.
Not
It reminds you of their downward swing, but
Yeah,
not their free fall.
It reminds me of when they ran out of Jesper Stromblad's songs to play, and they had to start writing their own.
Okay.
The record, everything through Threshold is good.
Yeah, but
Is
I'm
that as far as you've
I'm
listened?
on the tail end of that. Yeah. Freedom went more mid-tempo,
Okay.
but it's got a lot of whoa, like old-timey Hammerfall. Hail to the King, I think, was the first single, and it's got like big epic drums and synths and it reminds me of Glorious. What the hell is that song? So same era. I'm not going to remember while you two are listening.
No, I can
Hero to
confirm
All.
what you said is accurate.
I agree.
Yeah, Hero to All, just more of the same.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of trouble in general when I listened to the album before the episode, Doug. That as I listened, I started out, Avenge of the Fallen was very like on theme, but I began to lose which track I was on. I was like, did it change? Is it the same song? I don't remember.
Yeah, they didn't. Avenge of the Fallen, just to go back, it's not really a traditional album opener, right? So usually you'd open with a faster song.
There is a satisfying interval that he takes with the vocals that I
Yeah.
enjoyed. Okay, just finishing up my track by track. Hope Springs Eternal is a ballady thing with more big choirs.
That was the first time I realized a new track had come up.
All right, Burn It Down is, Hammer. It's another one of those Hammerfalls where they're trying to sound mighty, but then he sings up high and is like champion. It's well executed. It's just if you don't like Hammerfall's lack of vocal edge, you're gonna be upset by.
I don't
Burn
know
It
the
Down.
musical term for it, Tim. Maybe you know, but Hammerfall, just their riffs always seem kind of like happy and jaunty. So it works in some things. It works when you want like kind of like a soaring, energetic song, but when you're trying to burn it down, it just doesn't. It's just too bright. It's like burn it down.
Yeah, because the
All right,
song's kind of about unfocused threats against the perceived aggressor. It's a little happy for that. Yeah, I would agree. But Hammerfall's because they we'll probably talk about this more in the Dream Evil review, but there's an unfortunate tendency of this music to get ironic these days. And Hammerfall is definitely not that.
Also, Doug, we should remind the listeners out there in Podcast and Down Nation, go to vote at podcast.com to decide whether or not we will review the new Dream Evil album. If you're listening to this, you probably have, we only do this once a week now because we all sat down and agreed that was the best thing to do. We had a nice open conversation according to the contract. And we said 1 day a week is the best way to do it. So you have 1 week to get your vote in. Vote at podcast.com. Should we review the Dream Evil album? Let us know.
You
All right.
can't find a place to vote. Just type it in. Whatever field is there.
Yeah, search
And we'll get it.
vote.exe on GitHub and see what happens.
All right, Capture the Dream and Rise of Evil, both just more generic Hammerfall.
I mean,
Not in a bad way. Nothing bad about it. It's just like, just more of the same. Rise of Evil has Oscar Droniak's Rise of Evil, that we haven't heard in a while.
that's refreshing, I guess.
All right, and then Time Immemorial is another ballad, closes the album. It's a good closer. Like I have no problems with how they chose the tracks, how they wrote them. It's just if you're looking for something new and refreshing, it's not this album. This
How did you
album is just Hammerfall trying to recreate old Hammerfall to great success, in my opinion.
How did you feel about the In Time Immemorial, like the like opening?
Good.
It's what instrument is that? It's like a harpsichord,
Yeah.
tinkly thing. It's I think it's odd for Hammerfall to do this.
The more it sounds like Warcraft 3 music, the happier I am.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So I'll throw some numbers at this. I actually really liked it. Could it have been how much? I guess my question to myself is how much better could it have been?
Okay. Now, when you're asking this question, are you saying how much better could it have been in like a range of aesthetics, or like how much better could currently living Hammerfall have given you? Because I think that's two very different places.
This is the best Hammerfall album we could have asked for, given the circumstances.
This is the best of all possible 2024 Hammerfall albums.
Yeah, so with that, judging it that way, that's going to be a 9 for me.
Okay, I agree. I'm going to give it an 8. I think an 8 is the right number here. If I was trying to convince someone that I liked Hammerfall, but I also didn't want to be distracted by a song I would like be listening to rather than engaging that person in conversation. Like, let's say I was going on a date with a young lady, and I was picking her up. I was like, oh yeah, I'm into Hammerfall. Like, we could still converse and this would be playing in the background. It would be clear I liked Hammerfall, but at the same time, I wouldn't be like tempted to listen to any of the songs like closely. Yeah, so that's an 8. Solid performance.
And I think we're going to talk about this for every new album review to the end of eternity at this point. But
Time
this album was
immemorial.
really helped by the need to fit on one vinyl.
Yep. Yeah. That 46 minutes is a great album length. Your album should not be more than 46 minutes.
Yeah, I did listen to this at work, and I kept being surprised that it was over. I'm like, oh, well, all right.
To give them credit, it looks like about all their albums are less than 50 minutes. But yeah, the spot on. It's a good record. That 2022 record's pretty good as well.
I agree.
I commute on America's greatest subway, the Washington Metro, and it's 42 minutes until I transfer, and then 10 minutes more, and I can listen to this whole album before I get on my second train. So it is perfecto.
It's a 7.5.
I like how Doug was the most glowing and gave it the lowest score.
Yeah, all right, presentation. So we should probably talk about the artwork here.
Oh, well, Tim's giving it a 10 for a jewel case.
Oh, yeah, well, no, I'm not going to penalize for giving me a digipack no one likes. Okay, so the artwork looks like a newer Magic card.
You know? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it has Hector, their warrior, smashing a hammer down on the ground and breaking the chains of various captured other warriors. And interesting detail. So I think this hammer is supposed to be wielded two-handed, but he's only using one hand. And when it strikes the ground, the lightning comes out of this side.
Oh.
So is it spraying lightning? Which way is the lightning going? Is it going into the hammer and then into the ground, or emanating from the hammer to the sky? Like, what is going on here?
Is it creating the illusion of motion? Is that what this is doing? Like, it's lightning as he's swinging it?
And then when it hits, then the lightning it's bringing down goes into the ground? Yeah, possibly.
Have you looked up the artifact in World of Warcraft?
I have not.
Oh,
For the record, I
question.
refuse to play World of Warcraft because I know I'd be throwing my life away if I did it, because I would never stop. The back has a band photo, and it's pretty much exactly what you expect, with one difference. So Oscar is kneeling,
okay,
and he's at the top of his head, since he's so ridiculously tall. The top of his head is shoulder level with everyone else.
Oh, wow.
So I really like that.
I always forget about his hammer guitar, but I do.
I fucking hate the hammer guitar.
I love that you hate it.
It's a rectangle. Can you make this? Like he sketched it on a napkin. It was like, I want this, but cooler. And then I want
a hammer-shaped guitar in the most uninteresting way.
All right, but jewel case, full booklet, pictures, lyrics, extra stuff in the booklet. Long list of credits.
Mm-hmm.
There's thanks. The CD has like more art. There's probably a zoom in of somewhere else in the art, but whatever. It's a solid 8.5 on presentation.
Tim, can you hold up that jewel case again? real quick. Okay, you know what I appreciate more than anything else? You know the little side that holds the hinge?
Oh, nice.
They have a detail in that. And back when I bought CDs, I always thought that was the mark of a band that had their shit together. Because you can just make that like a clear plastic or just a black thing so easily. Right. But they did that. So that
Under the CD is their special thanks and their sponsors, and they no longer have Clearview contact lenses as a sponsor.
it reminds me there's an indie band, it's a weird indie band. What are they fucking called? I forget what they're called. Well, I'll look it up. But they have an album called Under the Tray that has Reggie and the Full Effect. It's called Under the Tray, and it has like artwork like that. And you open up the jewel case, and there's no CD. Why? Because where's the CD, Tim?
It's under the tray.
Right, but many people angrily went to Best Buy demanding their money back. It was a commercial flop, and the record company was pissed.
Yeah. All right.
8.5.
Throw some 8.5.
Do we have to agree on a score?
No.
I thought that's how it worked. Okay.
No, you're thinking of a different.
Oh, that's our retrospective format.
Yes.
It's an all right. They get an 8.5 because it digged a bit on the music score. I don't like the comic booky style they've been using for since
a long time.
2020
Their
or so.
career?
I prefer no. Look at the old albums.
I
They're
know, but
excessively flat and symmetrical and a very like European heroic art style, which I prefer. But this is good. It's more World of Warcraft, Magic the Gathering today, and it's probably a good decision. Solid. And I do like Avenge of the Fallen up there right under the logo. That's gutsy. They pulled it off.
and the font is good, and the gradient is good.
All right. Trueness / metal score. It's Hammerfall turning the crank, not reinventing anything. Going back to the well, and fortunately they went to the right well. I gotta go with 10 on this.
It's true. All right, it's metal to just do what works again.
Yes.
And it is. They are Hammerfall at their Hammerfalliest when they do that. So yeah, you're right. It's a 10.
Yeah, perfect 10.
All right. That wraps it up. Stay tuned for our year-end retrospective, where you can find out where this falls on the scale of things. I'm looking now, and it's I think it's in the right place. So until next time, Metal Nation, make sure you avenge the fallen.
Cast them down.
Maybe this whole thing was AI generated. They just fed it a bunch of Hammerfall and said, make another one.
This new contract, that year-end retrospective, is probably the next episode.
Oh yeah, coming up, our 2025 year in review.
Matt, did you know that on the album Threshold, the last song, Titan, is about that movie, Titan AE?
Oh my! Wow! Oh God!